When the Mountain Valley Pipeline came and took down those trees, the homeowner says he wasn't happy about it, but he knew it was coming, so he let the tree fellers work. But now they've surprised him, and they're starting to take down trees over the stream. And he says enough is enough.
Wear security masks, the masks, that's hilarious. This is ridiculous. We have been so reasonable with you guys, and you're going to act like this.
It's been a tense day on Cascade Drive, and that tension just escalated as the day went on.
It's just for your safety, ma'am. I'm sorry.
If it's just for my safety, why are you standing right in front of my camera? If you're in front of my camera or not, I'm still here. You're not carrying me off. You're just blocking my shot. It's all very upsetting for those who came out to support homeowner Sean Hash.
Being out here and actually seeing it starting to happen makes it so much more real.
But for Hash, it's heartbreaking.
It doesn't make you feel good at all.
Hash spent a long time searching for the perfect place to raise his family.
Trout stream, we have a couple 100 acres, kids and dogs run free, and it's just kind of a dream.
So when crews started cutting trees around the trout stream, they crossed the line.
We were told that they were going to bore completely underneath it and save the riparian buffer and the view, because this protects us from Cascade Drive. And then come to find out the other day, they said that's not the case.
Hash says this area is also a protected wetland. But after talking to his lawyer and state police, Hash let crews go back to work.
DEQ is not helping us, and they're saying that Army Corps has to do it. We feel like we're here by ourselves. We assume that government is here to help us, and we really feel let down.
Neither DEQ nor the Mountain Valley Pipeline responded to requests for comment. In Giles County, Annie Anderson, ABC 13 News. Well, when Brian Thornhill learned that his son was bullying another student, he knew he had to be punished, but he never thought that punishment would go so viral. But now that it has, he hopes to send a message to other parents. Sitting on the back of their truck, Hayden and his dad, Brian Thornhill, joke like best friends.
I'm going to reduce the speed limit on the road. That way we'll have to casual run.
Oh, man. But that'd be your max run.
While they'll love as a parent, Thornhill stresses he's not his son's friend.
You can be a parent for 18 years and raise your children for 18 years. After that, you can be a friend for the rest of their life.
So when he found out 10-year-old Hayden got suspended from riding the school bus for misbehaving.
I was sliding under the seat. I was yelling, being really obnoxious. I accidentally jumped on one kid and hit him in his bad spot.
He says he also bullied one of his classmates. Brian wasn't having it.
This right here is just old school simple parenting.
For 3 days, Thornhill and his wife drove along Hayden as he ran a mile from their house in Roanoke County to school.
Well, my son has finally got in trouble on the bus enough to where he got actually kicked off the bus for 3 days because he was being a little bully, which I do not tolerate.
I thought it was going to be horrible, but when I actually started to run, like when I first started, I was like, oh, this isn't too bad.
The video already has 22 million views.
I really know why I decided to video it. It was just a random thought.
Many are applauding Thornhill's parenting.
By the way, it's other countries now.
Others say Thornhill is just bullying his son. Hayden doesn't see it that way.
It was a good punishment. I well deserved it, and I think he gave me a good punishment.
And Hayden says since running to school, he hasn't gotten in trouble.
Because it might be fun being hyper and doing dumb stuff, but then after it, it's not going to be fun because then you got to pay the price.
Well, what do you think about this punishment? We have a poll on my Twitter page right now, and so far about 80% of people who have responded say this is a good punishment and good parenting, and about 20% say that the dad is being a bully to his son. Live in Roanoke County, Annie Anderson, ABC 13 News. With that plea, the judge found David Eisenhower guilty of killing 13-year-old Nicole Lovell. Less than a minute after walking into court, David Eisenhower's attorney ended the suspense.
Mr. Eisenhower would respectfully request that the court rearraign him.
Eisenhower had previously pleaded not guilty to murder, kidnapping, and concealing 13-year-old Nicole Lovell's body. Today, that changed.
What say you, guilty or not guilty?
No contest.
Before the judge could accept the new plea, the Commonwealth's attorney explained what they would have presented as evidence. Reading phone messages
from the defendant. So as long as nobody finds the body for a week, it will never be traced.
They also summarized what a 15-year-old witness would have testified to.
The defendant told her that he had talked to a friend from the military and that they had the murder planned out.
After hearing that evidence, with Lovell's mom wiping away tears, the judge ruled.
Found you guilty of abduction as charged in the indictment.
And after hearing that, Lovell's mom hugged both the prosecutors and police officers.
You know, the justice system is just incapable of healing this loss for Nicole's family, Nicole's friends, or the community.
Today, there were no winners. We truly, if we had won, we wouldn't be in this room, and Nicole would be in Blacksburg Middle School where she belongs.
I was blessed to be Nicole's mother, to be her friend for 13 years. We fought every fight together, but this one.
David Eisenhower will be back in court in May for sentencing. His alleged accomplice, Natalie Keepers, is scheduled to be at trial in September. Now, coming up in just about 30 minutes, our exclusive interview with one of the jurors. Patty, this is something that everybody here is talking about, including our local Congressman, Bob Goodlatte, who, like most of his party, is for releasing the document.
I've looked at it, and I've also had the opportunity as the chairman of the Judiciary Committee to read many of the underlying source documents, and I think this is something the American people need to see.
So here's where the controversy comes in. A lot of the information in this memo is classified, and as the FBI and Democrats say, has gaps that can lead to falsehoods. Not only that, the top Democrat in the Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff, came out late last night saying that the document that the intelligence chair gave to the White House has, quote, material changes from the one that Republicans in the Intelligence Committee voted to release. This is something that we will be following all day today, and as soon as we get any updates, we'll be sure to bring those to you. Live in White Sulphur Springs, Annie Anderson, ABC 13 News. Growing up, my mom always told me to save my change because she said even pennies can add up to be a big amount. Now, a nonprofit here in Floyd is saying the same thing, but they're not talking about money, they're talking about the environment. When Syria signed the Paris Climate Accord, leaving the United States as the lone standout, Sustain Floyd, a nonprofit working to help the environment, decided they were going to take the matter into their own hands.
Little small communities taking initiatives like this, we think, is the sort of grassroots approach to the problem.
So they came up with the idea of an individual pledge.
It doesn't matter what level you're at, you can do something that reduces your carbon footprint, your energy footprint, your food waste, your recycling load.
By signing the free pledge, people promised to try to reduce their carbon footprint by 20% by 2020.
But everybody can find something to do. We provide, with the pledge, we provide a front and back page instruction sheet, tip sheet, to tell you how you can change.
And often, doing that is pretty easy.
Inflating your tires.
Every week, maybe one load of things gets dried, not in the dryer. We want to use reusable bags just because it's something we don't have to buy and throw away. Reducing the thermometer, the thermostat, by 1 or 2 degrees saves X amount of fuel.
And not only that, it can save money, as can switching out light bulbs.
Frugality is something that feels good, and I feel like I'm participating in a solution to something.
And he hopes those small changes will keep Floyd looking like this for generations to come. This is powdered sugar. If this was real fentanyl, I couldn't even be in the room here with it. The reason crews are so worried about fentanyl and first responders and in the community is because just this teeny amount is completely deadly. A firefighter dead after trying to help somebody. This is just a simulation, but it's something the Drug Enforcement Agency says is all too possible.
Over the course of time, it does not lose its potency. It can sit on a surface and still remain just as potent and just as dangerous.
And that's scary for Dublin Police Chief Dennis Lambert.
About 2 days ago, myself and the sheriff and chiefs and sheriffs all over the place, we met and was talking about how do we get the Narcan to protect our officers.
While opioids are a problem in Central and Southwest Virginia, for the most part, fentanyl hasn't made it to the New River Valley yet.
We've seen just a very little bit of it, but we're preparing for it because it's coming.
which is why Chief Lambert decided to have his team attend the region's first hazmat training for the synthetic opioid. 4 different crews suited up, learning how to work together when it comes to fentanyl.
We had a scenario where EMTs were called to respond to people who were unresponsive. They themselves got exposed to illicit fentanyl. A hazmat team was called in to safely assess and decontaminate people.
This was a thorough simulation. Even in below freezing weather, people were hosed off before being loaded into an ambulance to go to the hospital.
I think a lot of officers are surprised, just a few grains can kill you.
Which is exactly why the DEA held this simulation, to help first responders prepare for this deadly new drug.
We all want to go home at the end of the day.